everyone. My name is Emily. I'm our Director of Programs for 11th grade here at Attollo Prep, and I see a lot of new faces. So just a quick overview. Attollo is a college access and leadership program here in Lancaster. We work with 11th and 12th graders in the county, and we serve students from over 12 different school districts. Today, we have Curran Blevins, who is...
It's Friday morning, baby. Let's go.
Yeah. And Curran, you are the founder of Common.
Yes.
And the founder and director of Grayscale.
Yes, ma'am.
Amazing.
Yep.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I love it. Okay, so just to kick us off, where are you from, and what were some of your hobbies growing up?
First, pause real quick.
Oh, apologies.
I just want to make sure in this room, I see a lot of people that I know, but is there anybody who does not know who I am?
I think you're pretty famous, my guy.
Well, so I just want to preface, for the next 30 or 40 minutes, like during this conversation, key in the fact that everything you're going to hear is directly coming out of my head.
Love it.
There's no bullshit. It's just going to be you ask a question, I'm going to respond to that question, how I feel, who I am as a person. And I want people to look in the room and kind of be like, how many times have I thought about what I wanted to say, changed it, drafted it according to who was listening, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's your boss, teacher. It's not disrespectful, but what I'm going to answer is honest and authentic, so that's what this conversation is going to be about. So I just want to kind of preface that so people are not like, wow, this guy's unhinged, but it's just, it's black and white authenticity coming your way.
Well, two things can be true at once.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see both, authentic and unhinged.
Here we go.
Okay, circling back, where are you from?
Yep.
And what were some of your hobbies and interests like growing up?
I'm born right here in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
I love the way you said that.
And I went to Penn Manor, and I went to Penn Manor, all right. And Penn Manor, and I ran away for a long time. In 2006, when I graduated, I am 73 years old, and but basically, years ago, Lancaster is not what it is today. And there's a lot of change that we kind of continue still have to do. But I ran away and I moved to Philadelphia, New York City, and Southern California. And through that, I worked in music, so I was around the world and back many, many times. But I came home to raise kids and kind of like hopefully impact people and do something bigger than myself here. What was the second part of that question?
Yeah, hobbies growing up and like interests.
Anything in music.
Okay.
I played football against a lot of local legends in the area. Some people who work in this building. I had to forcibly try to tackle them. It didn't work well. But moral of the story is, played football, 3-sport athlete, and bailed on that in college. And I just wanted to play drums in bands, and I ended up working in music for about a decade through that. So hardcore music, drums, guitar, the Chameleon Club, like that was my spot.
Yeah. What did you do within the music industry? Like, were you an artist? Are you an artist?
So I played drums in a band. That Launch Music Fest that happens in Lancaster? Have everybody heard about Launch Music?
I've only been here for 2 years, man.
Okay, so there's a festival in like April and May.
Okay.
And they usually now have like big shows in the convention center. Back in the day, my band played the first headlining set at the convention center. So it's like kind of a big deal, but then we fell apart. But yeah, so then I played drums for years, did a lot of accounting, tour production, tour management. I was actually the production coordinator of Times Square New Year's Eve for 3 years.
Hey,
so I did that. That's pretty
dope.
So like I live life at like high stress, high anxiety. Are we going to make this plane to get to Australia back to this, that's how my brain goes 100 miles an hour at all times.
Why would you give that up to come back to Lancaster?
Kids,
respectfully.
Kids. Yeah, so I lived in Laguna Beach, California, and then I had my daughter, and I knew that for us to have a support system, basically I wanted to come home, because houses, I don't know if you know this, but like they're really expensive in Southern California, like millions of dollars. Yeah, so basically came back here, now we have like a great life, like we can have a house, we can have, things and not be like stressing about a 400 square foot apartment, even though you can see the beach. So it's a trade-off, right?
Yeah, well, we can always take a picture, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And now what do you do here in Lancaster? Or I guess what did you do when you first came back, and then how did that transition into you founding a company?
All right, so I think this is going to kind of be relevant to a lot of people here. When I moved back to Lancaster, I worked for a company, right? Many of us in this room, many people watching kind of work for companies. And I think that's where a lot of people sort of get stuck, right? Where I remember being told for the first time, like, you're not the guy. And that to me was like a very shell shock sort of moment where it's like you go from like confident in your skills, confident in your abilities. You're like, I'm a creative, like I'm creating, I'm doing all these different things. And then at some point, like you hit a wall basically. And when you hit that wall, you know, having your boss or a leadership person, whoever that person is, that's technically like dictating where you go in your life, that's hard to deal with. That was a lot of like, I'm like, wait, like I'm just progressing. I'm ready to fly. I'm ready to consistently just keep growing and going. And to have a person that is above me kind of say, hey, like the buck stops here, homie. Like you're not going any further. This is it. You're not the guy. We're going to hire someone above you. That was kind of a moment for me where it shook me to my core and it kind of made me self-doubt. And one of the things that I think a lot of people in this room probably struggle with is kind of that like sort of moment where someone has told them that and then they're like, oh wow, I'm not the guy. And in that sort of moment, you have a why in your life. You have a choice. You can either say, hell no, and go this way, and choose yourself and bet on your horses. The exact same way Michael Jordan will dunk a basketball versus passing the ball, right? You can be that person, or you sit quietly back down, shut up, and do what you're told. And that right there was something that I just went, whoa, whoa, whoa. As soon as that happened, I started looking for other places, looking for other opportunities. And I kind of then at that point muddled through a couple other career sort of moves where yet again I kept kind of finding that moment where someone was like, you're not the guy. And so it was interesting because I recently, you know, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I met with somebody that knew me well through those positions. And she was like, hey, listen, like you've always been this person that runs into a cage. You're like a mouse and you run into a cage and you look around, you're so excited, there's so much opportunity, there's so much for you to do. But then what happens is, at some point you hit this. Why the hell do you keep going back to the cage? And as soon as she said that to me, I was like, you know what? There's no reason I can't then continue to provide value, whether that's, you know, through photo and video or storytelling, whether that's through people and doing something bigger than yourself. Like, I want to bring this energy to everywhere I go and make it the best day of the week for whoever that person is. Whether it's this business, that business, whatever it is, like today's Friday, and I hope that everyone after this is like, what a great day. Let's go, right? Because there's tons of other warm body people that can come on here, provide knowledge. Like I'm not the most knowledgeable, wealthy, whatever it is person in this room, but I just want people to walk in and go, damn, that was a good time. Because there's not enough of that in the world. And a lot of people hire me for that, for the photo and video stuff. Because I can hop in the car and be like, let's go, let's have a great day, let's do it. And the stuff that comes out is great. And it's not stressful, it's not supposed to be that serious, right? But that all stems from me being told no. And that's sort of why a moment. And so I kept hitting that in different companies or hitting a roof or a ceiling. Like, I'm sure people in here right now are like, well, I'm the top of my department. Where can I go? The only other place to go is start your own thing. Right? And I know that takes a lot of money, energy, effort, so on and so forth. But like, when people tell you no, that doesn't mean you're not the guy. You're not the girl. You're not the person. It just might mean that they don't understand what you're capable of doing just yet. And now I can look back and go, I think I was the guy. I think I'm doing all right. You know? And so it's not like a middle finger to people, right? It's more of just, I have to do that for myself and continue pushing forward. So that was like a crux, if that makes sense, in my life a couple of years back, where I stopped running into those cages and kind of allowed myself now, there's this open road, bro. Whatever we want to do, we can do. Right? The crazier the ideas, the better.
And it sounds like part of how you were able to get there was that one person who kind of just like went up in your face and said, get your life together. Right? Like, because I'm sure, you know, people have people they trust. And a lot of people have that sort of moment where they're told something that they don't want to hear. I mean, my wife tells me stuff I don't want to hear every single day. Like, that's completely normal. But most times, a day later, I look back at that moment, I'm like, oh wow, like, they weren't saying that to upset me, because I process out loud. I'm hearing you ask a question and processing it as I speak. Just because I don't want to sit and I know there's a lot of people are like, that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to be like, this is what it is. And so, anyway, in that sort of moment, that person really did change the entire trajectory of my life. Like Lauren, if you watch this at some point, like, she's incredible, right? Shout out Lauren.
And Lauren Fields. And so it was cool because she had seen me through all those career changes and watched me as a person, and she stepped away from other companies too, and she was able to then look and be like, hey, no longer am I wearing this hat, but I'm wearing this hat, and I can tell you that, you know, this wasn't leveraged the right way for you.
Absolutely. I guess one question that I have then is, when you were in a specific role in a company, in theory, you're focused on your set of tasks. And now, like when you when you create a company and act as the director, you're overseeing all of the tasks. So how did you approach your business model to allow for, I guess, like the growth aspect of learning these new skills that you would need? And did you lean on anybody? Who did you invite in to help you and support you? Because now you're managing everything instead of just like one part.
For sure. So I think it's interesting that you say like when you work for a job, you have one task. I can but I mean like things, right? You have a responsibility.
Yeah.
I sure as hell know that when I had one task, that in 1 year or my responsibilities went from this to that to this to that. Because if you want to like continue to grow, you're evolutionizing yourself. You're just changing and adapting. And I often say it's like quivers and arrows, right? Like if you're at a job and you're like, oh, I'm a videographer, quiver. Oh, I better learn how to do some social media management, quiver. Right? You're just adding arrows the entire time until you get to the point where you're like, holy shit, I got a ton of arrows, right? There's a ton of arrows in here that I can now use for other things. Now, I don't think I can do everything great by any means. Like, I strongly believe that after 3 years of college and dropping out, the only thing I learned in 3 years of education in college is the word comparative advantage. That's it. Does anybody know what comparative advantage is? Can I throw a mic out to anybody? Am I able to do that right now?
Yeah,
does anybody know what comparative advantage is? Bueller. All right, so comparative advantage is very simple. There's a farmer and there's a rancher, right? The farmer grows potatoes, the rancher does cattle. But they also do the opposite. So the farmer also does some ranching, and the rancher also does some potatoes. If they focus on what they did better than the other person, more efficiently with time and effort, and traded at the end of the week, they both would be better off. So what I've learned is if I'm not good at something, and I see people in the room that are way better at things than I am, why wouldn't I just bring them in, put them in, on my hip, and let's just keep moving forward together, right? In that sort of space. So that comparative advantage term has allowed me then to like find a CPA, right? To find accountant people, because like I don't want the money in the IRS to be like, what are you doing, right? So you kind of have to surround yourself with people, but also know enough to be dangerous, because I know you probably know how to write a check, right?
I do.
Yeah, you know how to like use your credit card for things and
take
pictures.
I know that all too well.
Take pictures, like, and I'm sure with Attollo, like you have to then like maybe expense report.
Did
right?
that this morning.
Yeah, so you expense reported, right? So right there, you know just as much as I know, but then filing taxes is someone else. But having that wherewithal to be like, oh, okay, like that should be someone else is the key. So then you don't waste my time, which I should be shooting photography or videography, having a meeting with someone else and doing something impactful versus me sitting on H&R Block, like, it's just not a good space for me to be,
How do you make sure that you don't become the person that makes your employees feel like they're walking into a cage like you did before you started your own thing?
It's so interesting. So I am constantly asking for people for ideas. Because one thing I never was allowed to like really bring to life was ideas, right? And I'm always like, hey, you got an idea? And I think there's also a matter of edits, right? Like some people edit you to death. Meaning it's like there's 55 edits on a poster, 55 edits on a video, it's like, is it that serious? Because if we're going to transition now into like the content side of everything, right? Creative, consistent content is king. So if you are more worried about thinking that one video that you create is going to be like the life-changing thing, like when video editors, I know video editors, they're like, I'm gonna make the logo appear behind the door. I'm like, you spend 8 hours doing this dumb transition that no one gives a shit about, and then they just move on to the next video because this is them.
Yeah.
Wow, right? So it's interesting that you say that because all I want are ideas. I just want people constantly throwing me stuff, and so what happens is people are like, hey, let's do this run, or let's do this creative idea, or like, hey, can I do this edit? Yes, of course you can. You're gonna do it.
Yeah.
I want you to do that.
Yeah.
But then that's where it usually crumbles, because people are never then willing to kind of take
full
the
send.
Yeah.
However,
not
every idea is a good idea.
Oh, for sure.
So I guess that kind of like ties into something I've been curious about, like on the production side of Grayscale. How do you decide which stories, like through film, design, and culture, like how do you decide what you're going to tell? especially when, like, I love that you're inviting all these ideas. I think that's something that I'm also really passionate about. I often say there's no bad idea, there's just better ideas.
For sure.
And, like, you have to get the bad ideas out, or, like, the not so great ideas out to get to the good ones. But, like, you can ask for all these ideas, you're not actually going to implement all of them, like, beyond just, like, trial and error. So
when a client, like, hires me,
Yeah.
right, or when a client first meets with me, I really enjoy people, like, creating a space where it's polarizing, where you either really fuck with me or you don't.
Yeah.
And I'm just being honest as hell with that, right?
Yeah.
Because if you want a polished sort of, like, meh thing,
Yeah.
there are tons of people who are going to give that to you.
Yeah.
If you want raw, gritty, and real to make your business approachable, let me
That's
have
you.
it,
Yeah.
right? Because I'm going to go and get in the truck with the truck driver that doesn't, really know what's going on. He's missing a tooth. I've never met him before. Like, whatever comes out of his mouth better be your brand, because if they're not actually your brand, there's your issue with your company in general. And so I don't give a shit what person, the corporate marketing person is like, here today we are going, that's not real.
Yeah.
I'm getting in the truck and I'm like, hey, do you like working here? And he's like, yeah, man, I've been here 23 years. I'm like, I love them because they protect me and they take care of my family. Like, this matters.
Yeah.
So what happens is you have marketing people that come and go, we need a hero video that shows all of our business in this light. And I'm like, yeah, tell me more about all the brands that then just buff over what you're saying, don't care, don't believe you, and then don't buy into what you got going on. And so what happens is I take the idea, but then what happens is I remind them the reason I'm sitting in the office with them is because they see the stories that weren't crafted a certain way. So a lot of the time they have to figure that out. I've then taken the contract, did what they asked and said, hey, here you go. And they're like, well, that didn't hit the same way. And I'm like, I know, right? It's crazy. It's crazy. It sounds like a lie,
Yeah.
right? So I think that in two different worlds, there's two different moments, right? With the ideas at Common specifically, I try to take every single person involved, because without people, there is no community. So if people come to me like, hey, we want to do a food bank run. I've had 3 or 4 people come and like, hey, we want to do a food bank idea for November with, all the benefits and everything and the government shutting down.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, how can I make that happen? Because if I can't listen and constantly pivot like a speedboat, I shouldn't be in the position I'm in, because I'm leading people.
Yeah.
I'm not dictating people, right?
Yeah.
I need to be able to listen to them and listen to their responses. Over here, my goal as a consultant, creative person, is to listen to what they say, provide a thing, a direction, but then they have to self-select that. And then that's why they then have other quotes from other people that come in and go, hi, we'd love to create the video, So it's just very different businesses, as well as I've seen the people that have 5 or 7 people come in and they pitch a big deck and they pitch a big thing. I come in sweatpants and I'm just like, hey, listen, like, they're like, you're the guy? And I'm like, yeah, these sweatpants, it's Friday. We're gonna pitch this, and I'm the one in the truck, I'm the one in the dirt, I'm the only guy there is, and we're gonna make some magic together.
Yeah.
So it's just be confident in who you are as a person, because you're hiring people. Everything comes back to people. Everything here is all people-based. You're either sharing a story of a person, telling the story of a company that actually was started by a person. It's all about the person you're hiring. I'm connecting with you. I'm connecting with KJ. I'm connecting with other people in this audience, and it's like, it's all about people. So if you can strip everything just down to that core connection between someone, that's why I'm getting hired over someone else. That's why they're getting hired over me.
Yeah.
And I realize that. I'm like, that's okay. Because it wasn't supposed to be a fit. The universe works in different ways. They'll come back when they need me. Like, I do a very specific thing, and I'm fine with that. And it is polarizing, like I said. I don't want to walk in and feel vanilla. I want to walk in and say, I ride with that guy, or I don't ride with that guy.
How much of that is like a gut feeling?
In what way? In what way? I mean, like why I do that?
Well, no, more so like how long does it take you to figure out if you're actually gonna like do it or not do it with someone?
Well, no, it's not. It's them to me.
It's them to you. Okay.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, like, I walked in here today, and I'm just giving you me.
Okay.
People are gonna walk out of this room right now or watch this and go, not
That's
my
not
guy.
for me. Yeah.
The way he speaks, it's too aggressive. The swear. Bleh.
Yeah.
But I'm like, if I came on here and was like, What? That's not me.
Yeah, that's not
right.
you.
And so that's what I'm trying to explain to everybody. It's
Yeah.
like I just walk in a room, and if you feel something, that's all I ask.
Okay.
All I ask are for people to stand for something.
Okay.
I'm not saying I'm disrespecting when I'm walking. I wasn't in here like, "Bleh." No, I'm just being me.
Yeah.
You have then the right to say, I don't ride with him, or I do ride with him.
Yeah.
The exact same way that all those companies can either choose to work with me, people can choose to come to Common. Like, I see it, I see the stats. Oh, 400, 500 follows, 100 unfollows. That's okay. People are allowed to come, experience, try, and say, yes for me, not for me, my friend drugged me, I don't like what he's saying. Like, it's also a matter of just, I just am just posting stuff because I think it's fun. Like, it should be fun. And if people get then upset about it, it's you know, I want people to feel something. That's the goal. If it was just like, it wouldn't be,
What's the point?
yeah, there's no impact.
I really appreciate that you acknowledge the, I won't almost say it's quote unquote failure, because you're losing followers. You brought up like you gain 400, you lose 100.
Yeah.
Some might say like that is a failure that you're not retaining those 100, but I appreciate that you look at it as a positive, because it means that now your followers are more in line with who you are and what you want to put out there.
Exactly.
And you're not keeping people that will bring you down along.
For sure. And it's like nobody wants ghost followers, nobody wants, or just anything in life, right? Like I don't want mildly vanilla people hanging out with me. I want people who feel something and give a shit. I want soldiers. Like I want people who are like, let's go make impact and change through Lancaster together. Like, so then tomorrow, like, I mean, I'll just give an example. A friend ran into an issue, and I mean, I've seen 2 or 3 sort of things happen. I've seen one of our run club members, an accident happen. He's now paralyzed. And out of nowhere, that went from $0 on his GoFundMe to $20,000, $25,000. I've seen, you know, some deportation sort of situations happen, and everybody got behind that. So what I'm saying is the people that we have ride. They're down to ride. Yeah. Right? And that's the culture that I'm trying to create, because I think there's tons of people in Lancaster that feel the same way, but there's never been a space for that. There's never, it's like, no, we're not political. I'm not lining with different people, but if you feel something, just stand for it. Yeah. Just come stand for it. Absolutely. You know, and there's a space for whatever that is. I'll just share a story. Like at Run Club, we had someone take their life, right? Really harsh moment. And people came and were like, hey, can you pray? And I'm like, not a place for me. I don't pray, right? And that's okay if you pray. There's a space right there for you to pray. But there's also a space for people to have a moment of silence. But there's also a space for people to cry out. Like, I don't care what you do, just be here. Because if anybody then talks shit on the person across from you, they'll be shown the door real fast by me. You know what I mean? Because that's the point. Yeah. You know, because there's tons of different places, but everybody stands for very specific things in Lancaster. That's Lancaster. It's this and this and this. And I'm like, hell no. It's this.
It's the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm curious now, could you talk a little bit about Run Club? I purposely did not deep dive too much into it because I wanted to hear it straight from the source. Yeah. But I will say you have come up on my TikTok feed. Like, well, not you specifically. And yes, you have, but like also but also
Are you listening? Are you listening, algorithm? Are you listening?
But like other people who are like, I'm gonna like go on a run with Run Club today, the fastest growing like running club that to my knowledge at least. So I mean, you're literally taking over the streets of Lancaster. Yeah. Like,
well, there's a reason behind that. Think about that, right? Yeah. Think about that. And this is like a fun moment where, so I've been to Atlanta run clubs, I've been to run clubs in different cities. Like every other city has a safe place for people to go. Why does ours not? So now let's talk about something that actually needs to change. Like, what contractor wants to build a high rise like the Skyline that New York City has that goes the second floor the whole way across the city? Build it. If you don't, shut up. Don't complain about our streets. People are like, I literally have people every single week that are like, run on the sidewalks. I'm like, yeah, 2x2, 500 deep. Great idea. Like, it's physically impossible, right? And so the problem that I have with the negative sort of like response that we get is they just haven't taken the time to join, right? They haven't taken the time to stop out. Usually people are like, oh, this is so dangerous. And I'm like, hey, I'm so sorry. Like, you stop for trains. Like, just please be careful with these people. And they're like, oh, well, I was late for my XYZ. And I'm like, oh, so it's not a matter of you caring about people's safety. It's actually about you. Why don't you take a minute, come out next week and see that it's like really a great time. Yeah. Right? So the Run Club itself it's supposed to, and I was reading a submission yesterday. I have like a submission form for some a welcome crew that I'm creating.
Okay.
And somebody sent a submission and they were like, hey, the first time I ever came out to Common, and it kind of rung to me where they were like, it was massively overwhelming because there's loud music, there's tons of people everywhere. You don't have your,
it's a party.
Yeah, it's a party. It's like,
Yeah.
and you're walking into like an unknown. But then she said, instantly people approach me. Kind of like, we're like, hey, are you new? Like, what's your, like, what, blah, 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 and shoot the shit with her. And then she said she never felt more safe running the streets of Lancaster with strangers.
Interesting.
And so as soon as she said that, I was just like, oh, wow, like, that correlates.
Yeah.
Like, there is a moment of, like, when you take off down Lemon Street, and all the cars are like, like everybody's like, what is it? What? You know, and they kind of sit there with their four-ways, like, but then at the exact same time, you have people come out on their doorsteps every week with their kids sitting there giving us high fives, cheering us on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing stuff that people could never imagine is being done.
Yeah.
The Soccer Shots kids line up every single week at Buchanan Park and give us high fives, 30 kids deep.
I love it.
Right? So the point is, for every one negative Nancy, for every one Karen, internet term, that's a hype term, right?
Well,
Karen?
I also have an intern named Karen, and she's great. So
well,
we'll go back to negative Nancy.
Okay, negative
yeah,
Nancy. Well, but we feel bad for the Nancys out here right now. Is there a Nancy? Are you Karen? Oh, I'm sorry, Karen. I'll give you a hug afterwards. Karen, you get a water bottle. There you go. There you get a water bottle. Sorry, Karen. My bad. No, but so it's in that space, right? It's in that mindset where the fact that people instantly jump to anger, that's the exact point of what this is supposed to do, right? And then what happens is we're just going to build this, like, by next June, we'll be at 1,000 people.
It's that polarizing concept.
We'll be at 1,000 people, and then what's going to happen is I'm waiting for the city to be like, hey, listen, like, how do we help here? Because this is wild. And I'm like, well, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. It's interesting because I just live in a space of disruption. I've never asked for help from anybody. There's no help here. Like the people here in this room that, I see a lot of common people, like they've helped me get to this point, build it, spread the word, and get there.
Yeah.
But we're going to get to a point very soon where the place that we live now has to step up a little bit. Like the city of Lanc, they don't respond to the messages I tag them in. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
Fig, I haven't been covered by Fig yet. And that's not call outs. That's me just being like, hey, like, if you want to cover what's big in your city, where's the love? Or are you holding me down? Because that's how I feel.
Yeah.
I don't feel supported.
Okay.
And that's okay to not feel supported. But I'm not assuming that they're not, but I'm just sitting here like, hey, like, this is a big thing. Help me make it bigger, because it's a good thing. I'm not charging people memberships. I'm not charging people money to come. People come, and if they want a water bottle, get a water bottle. Buy some socks. It's not that serious. Like, and people are kind of like triggered by that too, because they're like, "What's this guy's? It's a get on Reddit. And it's a cult. It's a cult." I'm like, not preaching anything other than just don't hate people.
Yeah.
Whoa,
Crazy concept.
Yeah. So it's really supposed to be disruptive in every sort of aspect, and that's because through my marketing career, I managed a rock band, a massive YouTube artist. I think they have 3 million subscribers now. Managed a rapper that built to 500,000, Instagram followers, and all I've ever done through that space is, hey, don't sign to the record label. Let's do it on YouTube. Let's use the internet. Let's use the internet. Let's just do content, create, right? So it's always been disruptive, the punk rock guerrilla way. I mean, hell, Amy, who's in the room, I sent Amy, our art director, she basically got a message from me, and I'm going to work on a CNC steel piece with Commons logo on it, and I'm going to get a mobile pressure washer, and I'm going to go all up and down the sidewalks this upcoming spring and pressure wash dirt off the ground, because it's not defacing anything. Like, I am here to do guerrilla marketing shit through this entire city that brings people to Common, that then Common then has strength in numbers, that we can impact change like that. Do you know anybody who can fill a van full of 150 backpacks and 150 pair of shoes on a Thursday? I don't know anybody who can do that. We can. A bunch of punk rock, tattooed, degenerate youth. We're here to take the streets, and we're going to take this shit over. That's what we're doing. Like.
Okay, so I mean, just in this conversation, I'm sensing that there's a desire for the Lancaster community to step it up and kind of acknowledge that you're not going away.
Yeah.
So you want the community.
Nor are we harming anybody.
No, you're not harming anybody.
Okay,
No,
like
no,
we're
no,
not here
no.
to hurt anybody.
No,
Okay.
That's not what I'm getting at all.
We're not like, picketing or like,
Yeah.
no, like.
Handing out backpacks and shoes is horrible.
Yeah.
So how do you identify where you want to like leave an impact, and how do you continue to support a community that may not have fully accepted you yet?
The people that come, right? Like people come to me like, the backpack idea came, a buddy of mine, Andrew Silvius, he was like, hey, I work for Lancaster Boys and Girls Club. We struggle at this time. And I'm like, well, Silvius actually, and he used to own Crumbs and some SO art stuff. He spray painted our entire tent. So he did like a custom art display on our tent, right?
Dope.
So I'm like, he supported us, I'm gonna support him.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of this, right? Like you're supposed to invest in other people. Like I see people in this room that I wanna invest in. I'm investing in them personally, professionally, in running.
Yeah.
Like it's all of this together because everyone is actually just rising. Like there's no gimmick to it. And so regarding Lancaster specifically, you know, I look at things like the chamber. I look at things like, and that's not trash talking before I go into this, but it's like, I've never understood that because here's how they work. And here's how I work. Because it's not all this. It's not all this direction. It doesn't have to go that way. There's a lot of stuff that happens out here and in other weird places. So it's hard for me just because the corporate structure I've never fit in with. That's because of the punk rock, hardcore world that I used to live in, right? Like I was the one suing record labels to get bands off of deals to then get on YouTube and be like, hey, listen, we don't need that anymore. Like that's an old dying system. And now you look and they're like, well, now we have unsigned artists and Spotify and some, it's evolution, right? So now the challenge is like, how is the city, how is the chamber, how are all of these things that have been around for years and years and years going to adapt to accommodate the youth? Because I'm old in theory for the Run Club. A lot, you know, I'm 37, right? So a lot of the people are younger coming out of high school and college and coming out and finding friendships and leaving college like, I don't have my people, where's my tribe? And they're finding it there. Then you have, you know, young adults, business owners. I met a guy, Rodney, yesterday. He's probably in his 50s. Like, it's everyone.
Yeah.
So that to me means it's working and it's only going to continue forward because the content is real, showcases people, there's an authentic purpose behind it, there's nothing, no shade, no weirdness, right?
Yeah.
And it's free for everyone. Like the goal of Common is to make big business pay for all the members and the people. Name a business who's like focused on that. Like nobody does that. Everybody else is like, how do we charge our membership? How do we charge our fee? I'm like, no. Like the business, the city, tax dollars, something will pay for this, for the people. That's the mentality. It's punk rock Robin Hood for people.
I love it. I have one more question before I open it up.
Oh, yeah.
Because I agree with a lot of the ethos behind what Common does.
Okay.
I guess where I personally struggle, how can we take advantage of the systems that are in place to create change, even if we want to also like go outside of what is already established? Like I guess what I'm thinking about is One to Market, right? And right outside there's the Give Extra sign.
Yep.
And I had no idea what that was before I moved here, and now I'm like, wait, this is dope. It's one of the biggest giving days in the county. Yep. One that we also participate in here at Attollo. So that's something that is part of the system.
Yeah.
How can, like, do you see Common supporting, not support? Like, how do you, like, I guess using that as the example because it's so close, it's like in a couple weeks. How can we utilize the systems that are there to then create the bigger change and go a little bit outside of it?
So what I'm hearing you ask is basically there are systems in place.
Yes.
Right? How do we then use those instead of like, I'm not trying to overrun systems, right?
Well, yeah, no, not overrun, but like how can we utilize those and still
well, so
go outside the box?
So the idea for me is to cause so much disruption and demand that then they have to listen. That's the mentality where it's like, I never ask for help, but then what happens is you build like, why am I in this chair, right? because you were like, there's eyes on this. We need to start paying attention, right? So you build it to that point where then people start paying attention, and then the conversation changes from, hey, can you help me, to now we're looking eye to eye. So that's the difference here. I'm not going to go approach and say, hey, like, can you please, because I've played that game a lot of my life, where I'm like, hey, can I have some help? Hey, can I have some help? And they're just kind of like, poo. It's their day job. They don't care about their day job. They're having a bad day, you know? And I'm like, no. Like, it was always like this. So my goal is always build it organically with people. Now we're this. And then what's going to happen is this. And what happens is they either adapt and rise and we help together, or we just go our own way. And then you can't control, right? And so it's like, I say chaos. I always say bring the ruckus, bring chaos, bring the energy, because that's what I want people to do. Like, I want people to come, have a great time, but there's a lot more underlying truth and honesty to what this means, right? Like the fact, like I said, with the GoFundMes and those things, like, that's strength in numbers. That's a wolf pack mentality, right? So if we go from 500 to 1,000, I think our record was like 430, 440, something like that at the beer, or Our Town Brewing downtown, outside. And so if we think it to 1,000, that's a number to be reckoned with.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
And so I look at that as like, okay, well then how do I get to sit with someone wearing a suit that gets to make decisions, and I have people's voices in my pocket and in my hand that says, we really need this, help. Or how can we help you do this, right? So it's not a matter of like us versus them. It's a matter of, I don't know any other way to build things other than this way.
Interesting.
Just because I've tried the other way. Hey, can we help? Can we team up together? And everybody's like, nope. Then I go, okay.
Interesting.
I'll keep rocking this way.
Interesting. Okay, I recognize that we've got a lot of folks, probably a lot of questions. Who wants to kick us off? Yeah.
Awesome. Curran, thank you for being here. I've been to Comment a lot, and I try to come whenever I can, whenever I'm not changing lives here. But I have created some really awesome friendships with people because of Comment, and I've deepened some friendships here as well. So what do you think has been the key to creating an environment where you can feel a part of a really big community while also finding those interpersonal connections with others?
That's a polarization. Like, that's the thing, right? Like, when you walk in the big space, you're kind of like, overwhelmed initially, but then what happens is the people that didn't fit in have already been weeded out. That's the concept that I keep saying. Like, those unfollows are actually like the biggest blessing in disguise, right? Because then it's those people self-selecting that are like, hey, I don't want to be a part of this. So the chance of you coming out and in 300, 400 people bumping elbows with someone that is going to connect with you is probably pretty good, right? And then that's what turns into that person. And I one of the things I say a lot is like, it takes 1 second of courage to change your life. So a lot of people, for them to cross that threshold, they follow. And I see them creep from afar on the internet, like a couple things. Then I see them in person, and I'm like, yo, you're new, who are you? And I think that moment, they're kind of like, and you can tell because it's not hard, because this is them. They're back on the wall in the very back corner of the place being like, like, it's not hard to find those people, right?
Yeah.
But as soon as then you start to drag them in, then they're like, oh, that guy, he's great. And then I message them afterwards. I message every single person that follows us. Like, think about that concept. 4,700 messages have been sent from these two fat fingers. That's crazy. Like, that's crazy.
Fat fingers.
Right? And then what happens is some people message back, and then I'm like, I must continue. You know? And then I have like these conversations with these people, right? So I think it kind of then stems from, I don't want to say like, it's a demand from me. It's an X factor moment, right? Like, I stand up there and I say what I say because I genuinely believe that. And then I genuinely want then other people to be like, that resonates with me. That resonates with me. And I'm going to ride that way too. If you don't ride, that's why they're gone. So in that moment regarding feeling something big, that's the S on your chest and moving through the cities of, the city of Lancaster in the streets being like, hey, I know for a fact because that crazy guy up top with the Superman suit on last week said like, that like, like he's going to protect us in that moment. Like, I got punched in the face one week.
I did hear about this.
Like, yeah, some drunk guy was walking down the street, living over in, by Cartel Brewing, and he was calling people slurs and all sorts of names, and I approached him from behind, and he turned and hit me right in the side of my head, and I was like, whoa, like, and I had, the best part was I turned around, I had 5 guys behind me, and he was like, And I was like, I'm going to be smart right now and not hurt you, but you're in a lot of trouble. And it's a bummer because he actually then hit somebody else later, a husband that was walking and knocked his teeth out. There's a criminal thing next week. But like, the point is like, I'm willing to step up in those moments because this is very personal to me.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of other people in this room consider it personal to them. So then what happens is when you connect with two people, it just deepens. Like I watched last night at Hi-Fi 8 or 10 tables of 8 people deep eating food. Like name another place in Lancaster that you're not paying for. You know what I mean? Like it's people, and then they intermingle and intertwine. So I think that the unfollowers and the disruption, as well as the polarization that you feel in that moment, is what creates that energy. Because I can't please everybody, so I'm just going to please the ones I can. Yeah.
All right, Terry.
Thank you for this. I've appreciated so much of what you said today. And one thing I really loved was your line about, this is sort of like a punk rock Robin Hood sort of initiative. I think it was around this time last year that Hope Walls, who is Minnesota Governor Tim Walz's daughter, I think she posted a video on TikTok talking about how running is a political act. And I was wondering what your take on this as an idea is about running, going outside and running, these sort of run clubs being a political act.
100%. So it's interesting, just because run club is not a new thing, right? Run clubs are not new.
It's
a thing. There's run clubs everywhere. I am not the oldest run club. I'm not the most serious run club. I am not the best run club. I don't stand for religious or this or that, whatever it is. Like, I'm just the run club for everybody. Right? And so the political side is interesting just because, to me, I know we have conservative people. I know we have, very, very wildly pushing forward people in different spaces. But the point is, if you can't coexist together in that space, that's the issue at hand. So me personally, the chaos in the streets is a demonstration. Me personally, creating a place for people to genuinely be whatever the hell they want and to still come to a place, it's great. So I'm not sure how in the future that we're going to use politics moving forward. But like I said, the only way I can kind of change that is this mentality. And that's not demanding it. I don't even know what we're demanding yet, right? You know what I mean? Like I don't know what we're gonna do, but I just know that when things arise right now and problems arise, we usually step up. The backpacks, the GoFundMes, those sort of things, like that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I felt like I say it a lot where it's like, I started comedy because I didn't have any friends. Like I am a 37-year-old father of 3. I don't go out to bars. You know what I mean? I had no friends. I have no connections and people and no people I could lean on, right? And so now I have hundreds of people that I have connections with and communication with, and I'm there for them, and they send me messages or text messages or whatever it is, right? And so I don't know what the future will hold regarding like political stance, but I sure as hell know that when we take the streets every single week, it's making a statement.
I was about to say, you're bringing people together, which in a sense is a political statement, that it's possible.
Yeah.
And so, that you don't have to be as polarizing.
And so I hope that there's never a reason in which we then have to like act per se. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I know that, if you look at the back of my shirt.
Okay, let's see it. Very nice.
This is the Wild West.
Yeah, it is.
Right? Like Common is a part of the Wild West where it's like the youth that are hopefully going to watch us in the classes, it's like they're going to be a part of a lot of change in the future. And I want them to feel confident then stepping into those offices with the people wearing suits to be like, hey, listen, like Google lets me sit on a beanbag. It's not that serious. And I'm like, you're right. The amount of work you can do from your phone is really damaging now. It's crazy. Right? You don't need to see the white of my eyes to know I'm doing work anymore, do you? So I want to push those people forward. So politically, I don't want to speak on it too much yet because I don't want to predict the future. But I know that people in this room would act for the right thing.
I appreciate that.
Hope that makes sense, Terry. Is that good?
Other questions? Yes, Terry, would you pass the mic? Perfect.
So I think being in the room, like, I hate the word authentic, but it just feels like if there was a definition to put on this, it would be authentic. And I love the creativity that you bring to every space. I'm curious what it looks like when it's quiet. Like, what does Curran do when the lights aren't on, when you're doubting, when it feels like, whether creatively, business-wise? Tell me what you do to fuel yourself when the doubt creeps in.
Oh, what I do. There is a like course that people go through, right? In terms of right now, Philly Marathon's in 3 weeks, and we're trying to plan all these events. And like, there's this moment where you're like, yeah, we're gonna plan this event. Why did I do this? Oh my God, why did I do this? Like, I'm a failure. Nobody's gonna show up to this event. And then, I talked to my wife, talked to Amy, talked to Antonio. Like, I have a friend group of people, and through the space, and I kind of like bounce it off of them, where it's interesting because I don't look at Common as a success. I don't look at Grayscale as a success.
Interesting.
Just because it's the cage mentality. Like,
Okay.
I just look at it as it's an open road. And so I don't ever even take a moment to look and say like, wow, that was great. I'm already on to the next thing, because I feel like my job is to kind of then create the next cage, but never have a ceiling to just blow and go.
Mm-hmm.
So the hard part for me, Ed, is like in that moment when it's quiet and I am doubting, to not feel like it's finite. Because for me, it's always finite. Like, failure is imminent. Like, every single week I show up at 5, I start setting up a tent for Common, and I go, this is the week no one's coming. People know that. I say that all the time, right? Because it's like, I don't take it for granted, and like, I don't think that it's a success. I don't, and because I think that's complacency. And I don't operate in a space of complacency at all. And so I believe I'm only as good as my last job. So I'm always giving every single thing I got, like nails digging in every single job. I'll get dirty, I'll grit, I'll go the long hours, whatever it is, because I'm grateful for the work and I want to provide that value to people, and as many people as possible, whether it's photo, video work, telling stories, whether it's people in common. And so I think that to bring all of that question to like a close is, in that dark moment, know that it's not finite. This too shall pass, right? And I mean, I definitely struggle, and this is something a lot of people don't speak about. As a dad, it's like, I'm not around a lot for my kids. Because like, I mean, I was in Wisconsin capturing Monday, I was in Arizona on Tuesday, flew home on Wednesday, put him to bed, talked to my wife for 5 minutes, tapped her on the arm. Thursday woke up, literally was going crazy all day yesterday, then had run club and didn't put my kids to bed again last night, and I woke up today, ran out the door and came here.
Yeah.
After I woke up at 4 and was editing for hours before I came, right? So it's interesting just because a lot of people are like, oh, work-life balance and fuel, and what fuels you. I think what fuels me is the fear of 10 years from now saying, I wish I did that. I don't want to live 10 years from now being like, oh, I wish I would have said that, did that thing, been more myself, done that. So this too shall pass, and living with the fear of, leaving something out there.
Okay. Seb.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. I was wondering, it seems like you're very like forward moving, right? Everything's about the next, like how can I make things better? And so I'm wondering, with like always thinking kind of into the future and what's next, how do you like focus on the present and focus on the good times and like focus on where you're really at right now, and making sure, like, I guess, is that something you focus on? Like, how do you create those memories that are like long lasting then?
So I'm gonna be honest with you, because that's all I can do. A quote hit me recently, and I've been replaying a lot. It's like, I don't believe some men are supposed to be happy. I believe they're supposed to be great. And so I don't live here now, and I struggle with that. And like, therapist has told me that, my wife tells me that, all my friends tell me that. But it's like, that's okay, just because I feel like that's a part of who I am and I'm built. Like, so everyone I know always is like, hey, take a minute real quick. Like, look around. Look what you built. And I'm like, okay, yeah, cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like, let's go, right? And so that's something I'm working on personally. And so if I told you, like, hey, I got it all on lock, it's so easy, like, this is great, like, I'd be lying to you. And like, I would say that when I'm driving in my truck quietly home from run club at 9:30 p.m. and it's just silent and I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm literally thinking like, get the post up, move the next thing forward, what's the next event, how to do things. And I try to just take 5 seconds and be like, that one person that I met tonight, like that was cool. So I'm trying. It's something I'm working on, but I don't think it's something that everybody has. So I don't know if a lot of people agree with that or not, but it's like, I struggle with being present.
Well, I appreciate that even though it's not something that you consider yourself strong at, you at least recognize that there are benefits to being present.
Oh yeah.
And that I appreciate that you're acknowledging that's something you're working on, as I am as well.
Yeah,
So,
and I mean, I would love to hear, like, are more people able to be present than not? Because I'm actually thinking that the more people I ask at Common genuinely every week, they say they're struggling with the same thing. So is it actually that more people are present, or are you full of shit? Like, you know, and that's the interesting part, because my goal is this. Lancaster, I feel like, is this. How are you? I'm good. How are you? Take that down. Are you good? Like, you know? And so it's interesting because not many people are willing to do that and take the mask off of who they're supposed to be rather than who they are, you know? And like, I'm here to show the weaknesses. I'm here to show that vulnerability. And, you know, a friend of mine, Jeremy Hess, I was with him the other day and he was like, hey, Curran, like, your thing is very simple. People can walk in a room and you provide freedom to them to meet you where you are. And I was like,
put that on a t-shirt.
whoa, right? And he's like, people walk in and most times in conversations, you have to meet the other person where they are. And if they're like, how are you? I'm fine. Are you fine? Like, no, I'm like, hey, like, are you good? Like, it's okay to tell me if you're not, right? And then I continue just to claw in to get to that because that's the storytelling aspect that I'm digging at to figure out if you're actually okay in your core ethos, but also letting you know it's okay not to be, because I'm not. Like, do I think being a dad is easy? Absolutely not. Do I think being a husband is easy? Absolutely not. But so many people in Lancaster are like, everything's great. Life's great. I'm like, is it though? Like, are you okay? And they're like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm good. I'll talk to you later, dude. Yeah. I'm like, okay. You know, so that's why I want to create that sort of place for people where it's like, hey, outside of your job, outside of your house, like you can come here and I bet you'll dust elbows with somebody that's like struggling with some shit. And the question is, you're struggling with some shit, who's going to let the down first?
Yeah.
It's a game.
Cool. I love it.
Thanksgiving's on Thursday.